Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our ASM show. Let's introduce the panel who we've got. We've got my friend and yours. We've got JR. What's going on, JR? What's up with the mask over your shoulder?
Oh, I just, showing off my better look, my better half,
Well, last time you were on, you had Spider-Man hanging from a noose, evidently, from your roof. You've got Spider-Man. Is he in its shirt? Is that a shirt behind him?
Yeah, I've showed it before. It's a shirt with when Spencer was in a daycare center.
Oh, that's right.
So, Spencer's picture, he's probably about 3 or something like that. So
I love it. And I like the Alex Ross behind you. And you've also got the Goblin going right. You've straightened up the Goblin space there. I love it.
Well, I thought it was about time that I showed, a little bit of style and class and, tried to compete with your potpourri of paraphernalia behind you. So I don't have a spinner rack, but.
Well, I've told the story of this. I saw it on eBay, and it was about an hour away from me, so I was able to pick it up in person. The shipping on those things is atrocious, so I'm glad I found one locally. So I lucked out on that probably about 10 years ago. So someone I also lucked out on, Josh. Josh, I don't have a segue. What's going on, Josh?
I'm doing good. I'm good.
I like your Miles Morales. That's Miles' logo, isn't it?
This is TASM.
It's one. Andrew Garfield's spider web. Okay, the black threw me. That was cool. Very
Isn't
cool.
he going to have to pay a tariff to be on this show today?
Funny you should mention, JR. In Facebook, this is funny. In Facebook, we have a little thread, and I know this Facebook thing is all new to you. You think it's a fad. But
just like MySpace.
Exactly. We have a list of all the topics we're going to cover, and I put links of where people can research and stuff like that. Yeah. And Josh is like, I don't see it. What? Come on. So I copy and paste it, put it in a DM. He was like, I don't see it. And then Tyler, who's also in Canada, he says, Brad, I don't see it. Evidently, the IP of Canadians doesn't like one of the stories we're about to cover in Spider News later tonight. Which one? Find out later. So there you go. There's another tease. So evidently there is an IP tariff. Someone who doesn't have a tariff, I don't know, Christina. I'm sorry. Everybody gets a segue, and that was yours. I like your hat. Looking
Thank
good.
You. Yeah.
Looking cool. What is it? Spider related earmuffs too, or headphones, or what is this?
Just pink headphones.
Oh, okay. I thought there was like a little spider circle on the side of it.
Matches the eye color, so.
Yeah. Someone who also matches the eye color. I don't know. Mike, what's up?
Well, hi, Brad. Thanks for having me on. Ready to talk about another exciting and riveting issue of X-Men.
Yeah, no doubt. I now know why I was called .deaths because I died a little reading it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, those X-Men, they just aren't exposed enough. I'm glad they're getting an opportunity to venture out in other books.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Brad, that there was that whole thing when they because before the Fox got acquired by Marvel, there was that whole thing. Oh, we got to make the Inhumans like them. So they got to get it in somehow. So
10 books, 12 books just isn't enough for those X-Men people. They've got to spread out over to ASM. Someone that, what's up, Sarah? I can't do it.
I was really wondering where you were going to go.
I couldn't. You were already ready just to give me some side eye and face palm. So
Yes, I was. But I might be a little bit too busy playing this. Have you guys seen this?
Oh, what is this? Tell me all about this. What is that?
It's Spider-Man Bop It.
Oh,
nice.
Bop it.
Twist it. Oh, see, I already lost. So you twist the bottom, or you bop it on the top, or you pull the web. So
well, there you go. Very cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like JR. Bop it, snap it, crack it, pop it. It sounds like JR getting up from the chair.
I was going to say, is there a pull it?
Jeez.
Yes, pull it.
Oh, that's not where I thought it would come out of.
Oh, stop it. What's going on, chat? We got Mary saying Sarah, Christine, and Josh are killing it with their dress wear.
I got my poncho.
What about those Crawlspace shirts over here? Me and JR rocking the shirt, and Mike doesn't even have pants. Yes, it's the Sensational Six tonight. Very good. Let's see. What do we got in chat? We got Trayvon says ASM Volume 6 is finally over. Yes, the end of Volume 6. My lucky number is 7, but still not a lot of hope. But I shall review. You can find Ryan's reviews on the front page of the Crawlspace. End of an era. Sarah is in chat and also on the air. Mr. Comics, who has a letter in one of these issues, gave it an overall B-. Fitting this era with a dud. It's like a bad 4th of July. Let's see. I can't tell which one is JR. They look the same. Who?
I'll consider that a compliment.
I'm not.
Wait a minute. What? Are we talking about the top row, Mr. Comics, or like?
No, he's talking about the guy.
I thought it was me and Josh. I'm like,
JR, is that mask is that like you can actually wear it?
Yeah,
yeah, he can.
JR, can you please put it on? We have to see this.
I might need
okay,
to
hold on. Here, hold on. Let me get.
Well,
hold on. Let me get reactions. There we go. And let me get this off the screen.
Let's see it, JR. Oh, that's awesome.
Well, it's an improvement.
They got the same smile.
That's my wife makes me wear it when we go to bed.
Oh, hey! Get ready, baby. We're bringing the pumpkin bombs.
Yeah, I mean, the ears aren't the only things that stick up. So
hey, you glided right into there.
Anyway, the question that was asked, where did I get it? Actually, I ordered it off Amazon probably like 20 years ago. In fact, there's several pictures. I used to wear it for Halloween or whatever, and there's pictures of me with this and Spencer and as the Hulk, and so
yeah,
he goes back a long ways.
Mr. Comics can tell the top row apart. Brad, I have black hair. JR has gray hair, and Josh has no hair. Well, man.
No, that's not what he's saying.
I know it. I'm envious of those follicles, aren't you, JR?
I'm not sure he's the one who's envious of people with follicles, but anyway.
I got follicles.
All right. Let's see who's got what issues. Let's take a look here. We got JR. Of course, we're starting off with JR. We're going to interview. We're going to review 4 issues of X-Men. I'm sorry, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. The last deaths or 8 deaths or.
Oh gosh.
How many issues has the 8 deaths been? It's been more than 8, hasn't it?
Too many.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if you count the actual issues of Amazing Spider-Man, it's been 10. But if you count the pointless issues, it's been 12.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Only Marvel can tell an 8-part story in 12 issues.
yeah.
or 10. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. JR.
And as we'll find out, the title is actually a misnomer because I believe as the story, there's only 5 deaths of Spider-Man.
That's true.
Yeah, didn't he save 4 people?
Not yet.
Somebody just stepped on JR's pumpkin bomb. You okay?
Given Marvel's current numbering system, it's how is it any surprise they can't count? So
rest in peace, JR. Spidey's in a coffin. He's he's dead. Take it from there.
All right. Well, our story begins in Felicia's apartment, although Felicia's not there. She's departed to do black cat business. Peter came over last night and they played a couple of games of checkers and watched a little bit of TV before falling asleep. Well, anyway, Roxanne decides to show up today, and
here, real quick, can anyone name this character's name?
Sorry.
Oh crap! It's on the screen. Never mind. If it wasn't on the screen, I don't think anybody could.
Brad didn't read the book,
and I'm better for it. No, I did read the book. Sorry, JR. Go ahead about Roxanne.
That's all right. That's all right. Anyway, we call her Roxanne, or I do, because I think there was what was it? Don't stand so close to me. She said that was somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they said it to her. But anyway, All right. Well, Peter says, while I'm no, I
Even you have standards. You can't make the joke of what I know you're doing of what Spider-Man's holding.
anyway,
right
while
now.
I'm stroking, what are you
no,
doing here?
keep going.
While I'm stroking this pussy.
How many minutes are we in? 10? Jesus.
So Roxanne, what are you doing here? And she said, well, Peter, I want to show you something. So first of all, she shows him Cyclops, Juggernaut, and a bunch of loser X-Men who were not invited and who do not belong in this story. But anyway, they're here anyway. Then she shows Aunt May's grift, the Feast Center in ruins, and Aunt May, Randy, some random dude, and Shay, like we really give a shit about her, are all lying there dead. And Peter goes, "Oh no! Oh, whoa! That's
Sorry, I'm a little early.
Oh no!
They get better.
They can't be dead. It's all my fault. Why are they? And Coulson says, "Yeah, they're dead, Jim." So Peter says, "This isn't how it's supposed to happen." And it wouldn't have. Roxanne says, if you hadn't wimped out, and became a little wussy. And he says, "Hey, that wasn't my fault. That's how Joe Kelly wrote me." So, this isn't the same Spider-Man that's been, kicking butt and taking names since 1962. And so he said he gives Phil Coulson, who doesn't belong in this story either, here, take these reeds of ramen noodles and bring them back from the dead. Just those guys. Screw the rest of those people that are probably dead. Just those guys. All right. And they say, whoa, you can't do that. You can't use the reeds of ramen noodles to bring them back, because if you die, then you'll be dead for real. And Peter says, well, screw that. If this is how I'm going to be written in the future, I'd rather be dead. So he becomes the Sorcerer Spider-Man. And for some reason, he has to have a different costume when he's the Sorcerer Spider-Man, because Marvel wants to license another Funko or overpriced Marvel Legend. So he becomes the Sorcerer Spider-Man, and he decides that he is going to kick Callus's ass again. And he sees the Juggernaut, and he says, "Hey, Juggy, I need you and the has-been X-Men to back me up." So anyway, so Calix, who has leprosy now, by the way, as we saw, he's handling the has-been X-Men because he can't take their insipid dialogue anymore. What insipid dialogue are we talking about? Well, when Spider-Man suggests that he finds a new vacation spot, I suggest Jupiter. I hear Saturn is nice this time of year. Seriously, just pick another planet, bro. Honestly, I think I'd have killed him too. This is terrible, terrible dialogue. That, of course, then again, they haven't improved. That's what we saw the last time when they started using words that don't make no sense. So anyway, so Spidey, Spidey decides to unload this spell, this super spell, and it's called the Spear of Fecal. Yeah, go. Let's see here.
Ferrical, but fecal works too.
Yeah, we go see the Spear of Fecal.
The Spear of Fecal.
Oh, there's a couple. I'm sorry, aging eyes didn't see all of the letters.
The Spear of
there.
Fecal. Oh, that's some shit right there.
So
awesome.
Anyway, but anyway, as this story is really revving up, we get a 2-page ad for the upcoming reboot. Is that
you got to pop that up? I don't have it.
Oh, okay. It's here we go. All right. Now, who is the chick back there with like six legs or whatever?
Itsy Bitsy.
She's called Itsy Bitsy. She was in Deadpool and Spider-Man, written by Joe Kelly.
Oh yeah, she's a female clone of Spider-Man and Deadpool combined.
Look at GR's face.
Okay.
I think you just got a fecal spell yourself.
Okay. I was about to say, and of course, Chasm's there. because they keep trying to make, they're not going to stop trying to make him happen. And there's one supervillain that's conspicuously absent. The name escapes me right now.
He's over your shoulder.
Oh, you mean the second one?
He's over your shoulder. That guy.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so the spell didn't work against the leprosy infused Calyx. But since he's so powerful now, he decides to put on a real show of strength. So he explodes all of his anus dogs. Okay. And then yeah, that's what they look like. I mean, it's
JR is 100% correct on that.
So, but then the leprosy affects all of the has-been X-Men, but they don't get as many boils and blisters as what's his name? I'm not sure, but anyway, so they didn't get the boils and blisters for some reason. Anyway, Roxanne says that they have to go to the Crimson Cosmos to force to stop Calyx before he absorbs the remaining Scions. Like a Red Devil roll of super bounty. Anyway, so Spider-Man asked Roxanne why she suddenly gives a rat's ass about the Earth. Why she want to save the Earth? And she says, well, I've been watching a lot of Star Trek reruns early, and one of the overused tropes is aliens trying to understand humanity. I was watching, I said, hey, that kind of sounds like me. So I want to understand humanity better. All right. Well, we'll just keep the story moving here. So they go and get into the Crimson Cosmos, where her father there is sitting on his throne, trying to do his business in peace. And all around him are the dead bodies of Roxanne's family. And apparently, the brother has done a little, I don't know what you call, sister side and brother side, but anyway, it's anyway, he does it. And of course, Roxanne is wondering why her dad is just sitting there letting it happen. Well, I mean, man's got to do his business. Anyway, so Roxanne starts looking for Calyx. She can take the fight to him, and she tells Spidey to go try to get Dad's attention. And then a giant brain with 8 legs shows up.
Let's see the giant brain. Okay, there's the giant brain.
That's what it looks like. Giant brain with 8 legs. All right. It distracts Spider-Man, whose Spidey sense obviously does not work in the Crimson Chaos. So Calyx comes behind him and snaps his neck, and Spider-Man is now dead for real. Oh, my God. And if I hadn't just seen a 2-page ad for the reboot coming in April, I would have thought maybe it was for real. But since I saw the 2-page ad, I know it's not real. So this death don't mean shit. 962 issues down, 38 to go.
JR.
Before the plug is pulled.
Hey, real quick, before we give your grade, we want to give a shout out to our buddy Bruce. Had another letter in the letter pages right there.
Oh, God, did he praise a story?
He praised one of the issues. Okay, so JR, were you moved by this? Were you invested in this emotionally? Did it stimulate your brain? Did it move you physically and mentally and emotionally?
Well, it stimulated my own fecal spirit, to tell you that. All over this issue.
Okay.
So, I gotta give this is a D. This is a D.
Just a D, not a D minus, just a straight D, huh?
Yeah, just a straight D. It just I've almost become conditioned to this level of awful.
All right, let's go around the horn. We have 1 D on the table. Josh, what is your grade?
Yeah, I'm with JR. It's a D.
2 Ds. Christina.
I'll give it a D.
Mike.
I'll give it a D plus because I'm being generous towards the art on this one. How's that?
Wow.
Okay.
Sarah.
It's a D.
D minus out of me. Horrible.
Okay.
Horrible book. JR, what'd you love about it? What's your pros?
Well, that I was able to insert lines like anus dogs and fecal spear and petting pussy
and fecal matter.
it
the
gave
fecal
me,
spell.
It gave me the opportunity. It gave me the opportunity to inject a lot of color into this issue. So I will give it that.
Okay.
Other than
Pros on the table we have the ability to make fun of the issue as a pro. We have art from Mike. What's another pro for this book? We're an issue closer to the end. That's one of mine. Sarah?
I liked at the end how Spider-Man admitted how afraid he was of the brain thing, whatever that was.
But you and I just talked about Ultimate Spider-Man last night on the satellites. And I think he is more afraid, the character is more afraid of them coming for his family than this thing is coming to kill all of the universe. The stakes do not feel real as they did in Ultimate Spider-Man. Would you agree?
For sure. Yeah, I agree with you, but at least they made an attempt to have Spider-Man say like, I am truly terrified right now, whether it was effective or not.
Is this the first that we've ever actually heard of blight in any?
I think so. Yeah.
That's why this doesn't feel real, is because they just made it up for this. Like, it's not something in the comics that's been around since, we already knew about Juggernaut and the Sidorak nonsense. Like, it's just made up for this story. So
it doesn't feel like a Spider-Man story. The stakes don't feel like a Spider-Man story. His emotional reactions don't feel like a Spider-Man story. I mean, our Spidey senses are tingling that this is wrong. Personally, I think. JR Cons. I tried to find a pro. I found not many.
Honestly, what is there to say? I mean, it's just it's a dull story. I mean, it's just like you guys have said, that the stakes don't feel real. No. There's just nothing. I mean, once again, we're going to win the hero over because or the heroine over because she's moved by our hero's humanity and love. I mean, God, talk about an ancient trope, I mean, and it gets worse as the story progresses.
Yep.
So
would a con be the X-Men? You don't need them.
Well, the only reason they're there is because Juggernaut's there. And because Juggernaut's connection to
Sidorak or whatever.
Sidorak.
Why couldn't they get some real X-Men?
Well, because
Cyclops.
Right.
So Neil kind of made a good point last night when we were on Satellites, how this universe has been going on for 60 flipping years. So you're kind of like, okay, we add a new character in, or we make a new team of the X-Men because we're really running out of ideas here. And like, it's that double-sided of like, I want the old X-Men, if anything, to be teaming up with Spidey. That would have been better. But then, at least they're getting to age and move on with their lives. Why isn't Spider-Man aging and moving on with their lives? And who is this the 5, 6 X-Men are there? I can name 2 of them.
I think another con would be the death means nothing. These 4 people died and got better within 2 pages. Spider-Man died and was teased to come back in a new volume.
Well,
like there was not. Imagine this with Amazing 121 with Gwen Stacy.
Right.
She dies off the bridge, and in the ad it says, "Hey, coming in 2 weeks. Here's a new Spider-Man with Gwen Stacy in it." It means nothing.
Right.
Nothing at all.
The other thing too was frustrating about that whole thing is because this is also their deaths is also what brings Peter out of his nihilistic funk that he's been in for like 3 or some odd issues, because he thought, hey, they weren't supposed to die like this, even though the story earlier issue says, well, no, those were possible ways they would die. Those won't be the actual ways they would die. So it's just like, that whole thing, like thinking, oh, okay. And then of course, the moment he gives his, as JR wonderfully called the ramen noodle, like whatever the ramen noodles or whatever it is thing.
The ramen noodles.
We all knew the water. We all knew that. He's definitely going to die at the end of this issue because because of course they're making the noble, because of course now because he's willing to give up the other other four lives to save others and stuff. So it just kind of the thing of it just kind of felt like it just felt really predictable, and it just felt like they were just kind of just spinning their wheels here until they get to the end. And so it just, okay, well, yeah. And then of course, yeah.
Sarah, cons out of you. What do you think?
Well, to continue this same conversation, like, what's the point of all these deaths? Like, why is that even something that we're putting in the issue? Because, you know, like JR had literally showed us, like, we see the ad for the next volume. Why, like, it's in bad taste. Why are I just don't understand in any way, shape, or form.
I'll kind of disagree with Mike. I didn't see it as predictable, but I think that might just be because I don't care.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Paying attention that hard to the whole plot line of the story and how that's upcoming or not, because I don't really care. Like it got announced that he was still continuing after this. Great.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's predictable that he's not going to die.
Well,
I mean,
that's true.
I mean, that's a given. He's not going to die. But however, he may have different things change his life, which you would like a little bit. I mean, he doesn't have to stay Charlie Brown all the time. He can alter just a little bit. Give him a different lens to look through.
That would at least do something to change the story, as opposed to.
I mean, he's going to turn in, and I think that's what Marvel wants, and we have this on the topic next hour about: is he Charlie Brown? Is he not going to move? Is he not going to move at all? He's moved a bit in 60 years from a high school kid to a college kid to a married man, and he's regressed, and he's not moved in 20 years nearly. So they don't want him to. They want him to be Charlie Brown. They want him to be the IP that keeps going on. I understand that, but they're losing their audience, aren't they?
I mean, they're kind of are. I mean, it's just like, you know, that's the book is staying afloat now. It's staying afloat because people are basically, you got diehard Spider-Man fans and speculators.
Like cons. Christine, I haven't heard con out of you. What do you got?
I think it's interesting that this is the same issue where he finally gets off his ass to do something just to kill him on the last couple pages and stuff. And we've talked about this. What is the point? And then why didn't Doom just go out and get somebody that could actually, you know, do magic? So
Dr. Druid can't sell books.
Well, to be fair, the last issue that we will be covering kind of explains it, but that's what. But anyway, but
here's another con for me: a double page recap. Needed. We got And I think Justina Ireland deserves better than what she was given to write.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
you know, I mean. Didn't she write the death issue? No, that was somebody else. The one where the origin of Coulson or whatever. I don't know what it was.
No, I don't think that wasn't him.
Yeah, that was somebody else.
Anyway, but any other thoughts on this one before we move on? We got 3 more issues to get through. Oh, okay. Let's see. I should have. I need to go through chat. And I will do that in just a second. Let me get the other issue ready to go. We're on 68-point deaths next, so we're aka X-Men. X-Men time. And who's got that one? That one would be Mike. Okay.
Yep.
So let's get chat what they gave it for grades. Let's see. Mr. Comics gave the issue a C+. Jeff gave it a D-. Trayvon gave it a D-. Comparing to what's coming up, a C-, says Walter.
Fair.
That's legit, Walter. Tevia gave it a D. Fail. The staples didn't fall out. Tevia, your grade is going down. Look farther in chat. What's that?
He's thinking about it. He's like, "Oh yeah."
I'm thinking he's reading it with us. His grades are going.
He's being preemptive about what's coming next. How's that?
Oh my gosh, Mary, I agree. Ultimate Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man book out there. Jr., I wish you would read it. It's really good.
Well, actually, I did buy the first 12 issues, and I got bored with it. But then the last panel of Craven, Torture, and Harry and P, you know, I'm sick of this shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's cheap, and I don't think it has any purpose. So I said, well, I was looking for a reason to quit. Now I got it.
At least you.
Okay.
What are we on? 15 now?
We're on 15, yeah.
14, 15 we reviewed last night. They're good. Ultimate is the far better book than this train wreck.
Yep.
I give this book an F mainly because garbage. It makes no sense. Also, I'm done with the Shay, and I want Paul gone forever.
Yes.
Peter Parker takedown of Craven was so in character. Remind me of the Back in Black Kingpin fight. Yes, that Craven fight was very cool with Harry and him in the Savage Land. Let's see. Major Khan, Aunt May lives. That old bat needs to stay dead, said Walter, that old grumpy guy. Number one Marvel fan says, hey guys, what's up? Let's see. What, you don't get the point of this? It's to make Peter look like an a-hole is what they were trying to do. Let's see. Justina Ireland deserved to tell her own story and not Joe Kelly's cast-off.
Very true.
And Ultimate Spider-Man saves me from becoming JR. That's Walter.
You already said you're an old grumpy guy. I mean,
you're already there, Walter.
I think you're already there, Walter.
Mike, you were just telling me the other day, you know what? I love me some X-Men in my Spider-Man. So Marvel listened to you.
Apparently so.
They gave you a book called 68 Dot Deaths. And so I said, you know what? Mike asked for this. He demanded it. So you can review it.
But not these X-Men.
No. What would make up a cast of your X-Men? What is your X-Men team?
Probably the ones from that basically closely resemble the X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Jim
Lee's X-Men.
That was kind of that was kind of like that was the most popular one. I mean, granted, you can go back to the Claremont era and everything like this, but yeah, in terms of everybody's like who the ones that everyone recognizes, it's that team right there. Yeah.
Well, who's writing this one? The potpourri of Spider-Man writers. Let's see. We got Christos Gage coming in.
Yes, the go-to fill-in writer for all of for all the issues when nobody else when they can't get anybody else, particularly if
Dan Slott needs a little help.
Well, that's the thing though. Since Dan Slott's going to DC, I don't know if Christos Gage is going to follow him over there, but so
we got somebody I really do like when he's teamed up with Paul Jenkins was Mark Buckingham. Who hasn't been on the book in 20 years. Did some excellent one and done stories and
he did pretty good work here. So
but man, he has given some crap to review. All right, there you go.
So in any case, for those of you who need help in figuring out who these X-Men are, fortunately we've got actually little word balloons in. So we got Juggernaut and Cyclops, of course. We also have Psylocke, who is another. That Psylocke is basically the one with the glowing blue, glowing purple blades there. So another classic X-Men character. We then the other three are broken down as Temper. She was from the I believe from the Bendis era of X-Men. Great heat and cold. We also have Magic, who is of course who was originally in the New Mutants.
Colossus's sister and in charge of Limbo, right?
And then we've got Kid Omega, who was in Grant Morrison's new X-Men run back when they were actually ago. and of course he's got psychic powers and psychic powers and the telepath.
And anyway, in any case, that leprosy on them, like JR is saying right here.
Yes, they're all infected by
coming up with those great hero names.
Yeah, they're all infected by the blight, except of course Juggernaut, who is immune. So Juggernaut is doing his whole thing, basically fending off from the X-Men and saying, who do you think do you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut. Fill in the blank. So he's of course holding his own, and basically just because he's unstoppable. But weirdly enough, the X-Men are still kind of, even though they are corrupted, they are still fairly aware. So they're not like completely stupid. So they were able to, so Cyclops is able to make sure that they can kind of get, try to get Juggernaut's helmet off because if you remove his helmet, then he's basically more vulnerable to psychic attack. So they try to do that, but they see, he's actually wearing another helmet underneath that helmet. So then Psylocke's like, okay, yeah. He's like, because Juggernaut says, hey, this isn't my first rodeo. I've kind of learned over the years.
Let me find the double padding if I can find it.
Yeah, it's the double padding thing is kind of weird a little
see
bit.
Where
but,
that panel is.
Yeah, but basically, he does justify saying that this is not my first rodeo.
Yeah,
I've dealt with you guys before. So
2 helmets.
Yes, and so Psylocke was able to basically jam a psychic blade into his face, and that's when Juggernaut goes into the Cyttorak realm, where he finds, of course, his patron sitting on his giant stone toilet, doing what he's been doing ever since this arc began, just sitting there.
He's flipping through reels on Facebook is what he's doing.
Yeah. And Juggernaut says, look, okay, I get what you're trying to do. You want me to kill the X-Men because if every time I become a hero, my powers grow weaker. So, but that's not how it works. You know what? But that's not how it works, because they've been in the past, they've been able to defeat me because of the power of friendship. And I've been able to become a better person through the power of friendship. So if you want me to actually do something, you either send me back over there or get off your big butt and do something. But instead, Cyttorak, and this was, yeah, it's actually kind of an awesome moment. And then Cyttorak goes, and he flicks him back into space and sends him back to Earth. So Juggernaut's back in full power mode, and he's like, he breaks out of his holdings and just starts stomping through all these X-Men like, they're nothing. And he's like, and Cyclops like, oh, I'm not going to hold back. And Juggernaut's like, oh yeah, well, I am the unstoppable Juggernaut. Plows through him. Panel. That's a very cool splash page. And of course, after he wipes the floor with these guys, we then get a cut back to Cyttorak, and of course, pages from the Book of Vishanti, where they, behold, on this day that the Cyttorak, as he sat upon his throne, was basically contemplating, was basically agreed to basically get, Juggernaut back his powers, but he also knew it was too late because the blight has invaded his kingdom, and there lied before him, and the champion of spiders, basically, deceased. And
who's this guy?
Oh,
who the hell? Who is this guy? It's not like his name's on the cover. Gee.
Right. And that is the end of the issue.
God dang. Okay, Mike. That was a good recap to a bad book. Let's hear your grades.
This is, slightly better than the other one. I do give this a C- because it's not terrible, but it's not a Spider-Man comic. It's an X-Men comic. I mean, your mileage may vary on this. And also, it's like I said, it's like most of the X-Men that it's from, I guess that the other, like one of the headliner signs, it's not Uncanny X-Men. It's part of that whole From the Ashes lineup that they're doing now, which not many people really like. It's post-Krakoa era, and so it's like, I could take it or leave it. Oh, I did forget. We did get a cameo of Beast and Magneto in this to remind people, hey, they're still part of this team. Granted, they don't contribute anything at all in the story, but they're there.
Didn't they get more panels than Spider-Man?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, what's your grade on it again, Mike?
It's about a C-. It's a
C-. Sarah,
it's not terrible, but it's not great. But it's just there.
Okay, we got a C-. Sarah, what's your grade?
So like as a Spider-Man book, I give it a D. But if I'm grading it as an X-Men book, I would give it a C.
Christina?
Yeah, same as a Spider-Man book. It's a D because it's not Spider-Man. X-Men, yeah, I would agree with Sarah. It's about a C or so.
Josh?
Honestly, same thing. D for Spider-Man, C- for X-Men, I guess.
JR?
Did not get it. Did not read it.
Yay!
I would give it an F. I was personally offended that this is in my Amazing Spider-Man run. It doesn't belong there.
No.
It is an X-Men story. It is a pad.
Well,
it
that's
does
why.
not belong in the flagship Amazing Spider-Man line of legacy of 60 years.
Well, that's because it's one of those point issues, Brad.
I don't
Short
give a
for
damn.
pointless.
Whose name is on the cover? Who's on the cover?
I know. It's supposed to be Spider-Man's. It's the Amazing Spider-Man, but he's not. He's only in there
JR,
for one page.
I'm personally offended. It sounded like you didn't want to get personally offended by not buying it.
Like y'all said, it's not a Spider-Man comic.
It's not.
It's not. I mean, it is 68-point deaths. How stupid!
It's a cash grab. It's a cash grab. It's not. It doesn't belong here. It's awful. It's just awful. I don't know what else to put it. Mike, what'd you like about it, Mr. C?
Well, the art was good. The art was good. I think. Because it was actually, especially like that spread that you have of Juggernaut basically stomping his way towards Cyclops. I think that was really good. I do like the fact that for once you've got Juggernaut actually standing up to Cyttorak and basically saying what probably everyone reading this was, what are you doing here? What is your purpose? What is your point? I mean, you do, either you do something or I will. And I do like that it gives Juggernaut a moment here. And it basically kind of like, and he's kind of become, and it shows that he's kind of aware of how he's been, viewed over the years as just basically this big, stupid villain. But in this case, he's kind of trying to be better than that. And so I do kind of appreciate that the Christos Gage is like trying to do something with it. But if we're going right to the negatives, it's like you're just kind of filling this out. I mean, it's like, it would have been okay if you had, more perspective, something that Juggernaut was more involved in the story until now. But at this point, it's just like it's just like, oh, we gotta explain some of the reasons why Cyttorak is being the way he is. Granted, we can't put that in the actual series. We'll put it in here. We'll just squeeze it in here.
Is the Juggernaut, with the exception of the 1980s story and the follow-up by Roger Stern in Brand New Day, has he been a supporting character? Have we cared about what Juggernaut is doing? Do we care about Juggernaut's backstory and history and his creation? No. Do we care about the Amazing Spider-Man? Yes. He's dead in one page.
Well, and that's what the other thing.
This is a disgrace. Absolute disgrace to this long-going series.
And that's the other frustrating thing about this is because that the only reason that Juggernaut is even part of the story is because it's a callback to Nothing Stops the Juggernaut. But they don't even
reference that.
I know.
I know. Not even one time. Like, hey, you remember that time you dropped a building on me back in the 80s? Yeah. Who would have thought we'd be friends now fighting the same guy? No, Spider-Man's bed passed out in the corner like a episode of SVU. I mean, God bless.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm venting.
I know.
I thought it was interesting because, like, why couldn't have this whole issue been a scene in another issue, like an actual Spider-Man book, right? Like, they could have got this point across with less pages. Again, they're padding it, right?
Padding. Paddington Bear.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the editor's notes, because there was an editor's note in this book, and
really,
Yes, it was on page 9, and it says, "You're reading 8 deaths, aren't you?" As if we don't know, right?
Yeah,
and there.
Who would pick this book up if they weren't? I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, you, Brad, you had said, like, why haven't they referenced, nothing can stop the Juggernaut? I don't.
Maybe the editors don't know the issue numbers. I don't know.
Well, this is Nick Lowe, right? So this is what we're dealing with.
Go to Marvel Unlimited, do a search for Juggernaut and Spider-Man, and boom. Or the Google would get you there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got a lot of cons out of me. JR didn't even give a shit. Josh, cons out of you? Oh, no, I didn't give him pros. What were their pros?
No, I'll just skip the cons. That's fine.
Okay, go. Yeah. Fine with me, man.
I'll be honest. There's one con. He's not in the book. He's in one page. It's not a Spider-Man story. Like Walter was saying that in there. It's like I can't even really consider it a bad Spider-Man story because he's not in it. Like he's passed out for it or dead in quotation marks. Who cares?
Yeah. Normally this would take place in the back of an annual, maybe after you've read a story with a bunch of Spider-Man in it. Maybe let's do a little side 6-7 page issue. I mean, 6 or 7 page story. But to devote a whole $4, I think this was lower than the average one, wasn't it? Wasn't this a $4 one? What's the cover price on it? I can't see it.
Yeah, I think it's about the same as a regular. I think it was about the same as
still too dang much.
Was it $3.99 or was it a $4.99 one? Anybody got the book in front of him? What's it say?
It's like Josh said, it's still too much.
Oh, I know.
It's still too much.
Very true. Very true. Sarah, cons?
I mentioned my con, but I did have a pro. I don't know if this was mentioned already. It might have been the art. I think the art is really fantastic.
Yeah.
Christina, cons?
Absolute pointless issue.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
To do a more in a less humorous bit, is this why comics are dying?
Yes. There is no good stories being written because we are spinning our wheels trying to just reiterate the same stuff in the glory days, but do it in a bad way. And then they just waste an issue here rather than actually giving some actual good depth into a story that could have potential to be good, completely just ruining it.
And JR, you can attest to this. They've been saying comics has been dying since the 60s, but they have a real threat here with printed material and less kids are reading comics. We're all over 20 here on this panel.
Well,
is this contributing to the death, not of Spider-Man, but to the death of comics?
Well, we've been saying that for like you said, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And comics pros of all, I mean, I remember reading, back in the 80s or whatever, they were saying, there aren't going to be comics in 5 years, and but now it's so self-inflicted. I mean, part of the problem was, like in the 70s, and before they were just printing too much, shipping too much, too much was being returned. So they had to, minimize their losses. They went to the direct market. And that kind of helped for a while. But, then video games kind of came in and stole their thunder, and they, became overpriced. But, but if you listen, though, comics aren't dying. From what I understand, and because I don't read, I'm not into this, but manga, some of this kid stuff. I mean, for a while, Captain Underpants was pretty popular for a while, and I'm not sure what else, but I think there's other kids series out there that kids like comic books. So the comics aren't dying, but Marvel and DC are, and they are, and they don't care. I mean, that's obvious. They don't care anymore.
Tevye has a line about ASM is dying, but comics aren't dying.
And as you guys are going to talk about in the news, I mean, with Brevoort and his idiotic answers, and they don't care. They really don't. They're not going to pay anybody. See, that's the thing. They don't want to pay anybody to tell good stories. Well, they're just circling the drain.
I hate to say that the creators don't care. I legitimately think they want to put out the best thing, but the best thing, what they think is the best thing, is not it.
Well, who is hiring some of these creators? I mean, come on. Some of these people shouldn't be writing comic books.
If this is the best thing, they have to have someone saying you have to sell X amount of books a year before they have to have somebody steering the ship to say, you know what, you need to do a Spider-Man event once a year, and you need to sell 12 issues in it. And so I think they just get like a big bulletin board with some thumbtacks. How can we get to the 12 books? Not how do we tell a good story? And this looks like on a wall, someone said, okay, we got 8 deaths of Spider-Man, but we got to sell 12 books. Let's shove a dot deaths in there. Let's shove 2 of them in there to pad it out, to make the bean counter happy that we sold X amount of books. This is what this feels like.
And JR makes a good point. It's not comics specific. I should rephrase. It's not comics that are dying. It's these comics that are dying. Like when the Invincible series comes out, I think Tevye was mentioning that in the chat. When the Invincible series came out and people went back to the Invincible comics and actually started reading it, like, oh, hey, this is a cool comic book, and they start reading it. Or, The Boys comes out and then people read that and go, okay, the show's better. Or what? Like, it's actually a chance for people to go back and look at it. The new Spider-Man movie is going to come out. People are going to go to read the most recent comment and go, wow, this is horse crap. And then just stop. Like, there's no like pull there to like keep them engaged in it.
Yeah, and not to. I mean, I just was thinking. You remember Kirkman's Walking Dead series not too many years ago. I mean, that kept getting more popular as it went on.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. They sold a lot of trades with that.
So people will buy comics. I mean, but
if it's good,
not these.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this issue before I go to chat and see what they have to say for us? Okay. Let's see. Did we have grades? Did you guys put grades in their chat? Let's see. Matthew, what's going on, Matthew? How are you, sir? Tevye gives it a D because this isn't Spider-Man, it's an X-Men story. What's the skinny on these issues? Well, we're about halfway through them. We like the previous one better, maybe. At least I think I'm up to 2 Fs today, aren't I? No,
no, you got a D on the first one.
I got a D and an F. Yeah, I got a D and an F so far.
Which is surprising for Brad. What you must have because you like,
Yeah, I like a lot. Walter gives this one an F. When I buy Spider-Man, I want the star to be Spider-Man, not X-Men. It's insulting having him in one panel. C- on this one. Brad, is this X-Men issue better than Gilligan's Island book you just what's she referencing? I don't remember that.
She's referencing the Krakoa era, with basically where all the mutants were basically like, oh yeah, we're on our island, where basically free love and
free. It's the hippie island, yeah.
Hippie island thing,
Marianne and Phoenix and Ginger and Psylocke and Mike said people aren't digging the post Krakoa. I'm one of the ones that is digging the X-Men. I do pick up Uncanny, X-Men, and Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm not saying that all the X-Men titles are people are gravitating. I'm just saying that because of when they launched the From the Ashes era, they've already canceled 3 of the books already.
I know it's because I think the X-Men universe or the X-Men editors have a quota that they have to sell.
Well,
hence why they rebooted and started 10 like ongoings for X-Men.
It's also because it's Tom Brevoort is now the guy who's editing it. So
and Tom Brevoort gets orders from someone above him that says you need to hit this quota for sales. And how do you do it? Well, let's make 10 titles. Let's see if they'll sell.
Right.
Also, I think Sobolski said he's giving 10 issues to everything to give it a time for it to.
So see which ones work.
And if you look at it, X-Force got canceled at 10, X-Factor got canceled at 10, NYX got canceled at 10. I suspect many other X-Men books will be canceled at 10 and relaunched with new titles to see what will last past 10.
Yep.
Anyway, am I liking this X-Men? I did not like this X-Men book, Mary. So the regular one that Jed MacKay is writing, which is this team, is much better than what we just read here. Also, who's writing Uncanny? It's
I think
Gail Simone.
Gail Simone. I like that one. I really like the Wolverine book, which is written by the guy who's doing Miles Morales. I think that's a good book. So I do like a little X-Men. I'm reading them more than I did during the Krakoa. Is it bad? Is it bad Spider-Man story because it wasn't a Spider-Man story in a Spider-Man comic? Very true, Walter. Let's see. Walter says that an AI could write a Spider-Man story better than this. Jeffrey says this is why I avoided the .deaths issues. So you took a page out of JR's book, which saved you $4. Let's see. Yeah, these are cash grabs. Very true. Let's see. Invincible is a comic series adapted for an animated series. Yeah, I'm halfway through Invincible season 1. I stopped it a couple summers ago, but a lot of people are talking about it. You guys liking it? Is it good?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's actually pretty true to the source material too. So
That's
it's
cool. I liked Walking Dead for the first few years. I thought it also padded it out.
a little bit.
Guys, I love your live streams. It would be helpful if you give live stream schedules in advance like before. We kind of do. If you follow us on social media, if you join our Discord, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, I put these up, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, and they have a little live stream coming soon on YouTube, and it gives the time. So if you want to watch these live streams, today I blasted it out to all the socials today. I threw it up. I didn't throw up. I threw it out, out to Instagram on the Crawlspace. Look above Josh's head. See all those things? I put stuff out all over there, and even Patreon. I gave him a Patreon a heads up. I gave our Instagram a heads up that we're streaming tonight. So like and subscribe to all that stuff, and you can get a heads up when we are live. Let's see. Oh, well, Sarah, you already did what I just did. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Matthew says, if Marvel is to change, they need to allow their children creations to grow up and evolve. Let Spider-Man grow beyond Parker luck or being teenage hood. He has plenty of time to mature. I think the longtime reader, which is supporting Amazing Spider-Man, wants a little bit of growth as they get older. And I can understand them wanting him not to be Charlie Brown, but this ain't it. Mr. Comics, you really gave this one a B? Man. To each his own. Let's see. How has the Avengers or others not called out the public for hypocrisy for hating mutants and giving other heroes a pass?
Well, that's been a thing for a long time. It's kind of been the problem for, like, I guess, like they always had distinction between, why are the Avengers celebrated and the X-Men not? Mainly because I guess the point is, well, bigotry is stupid. So that's kind of why it goes into it. Maybe that's the justification, but
didn't they, after they had an X-Men versus Avengers fight, didn't they create Uncanny Avengers?
Yes.
They put Rogue on the team and to show that the Avengers support mutants and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did that for a while. I know that I thought and there's been a couple of times where they actually have tried to like relaunch it at some point over the years since then. I don't know if it's but I think at some point sometimes it's like people like, well, they like their Avengers and X-Men to not necessarily always commingle, but
after the casting of Doomsday, you're going to get a lot of mingling with.
We're potentially getting an X-Men versus Avengers thing in that movie. So
there you go. All right, we got the next issue would be a Josh issue. All right, Josh, let me pop up the screen here.
This is going to be a very quick review.
Okay, I'm going to get my mouse ready to click through quickly.
Yeah, because there's not much to kind of go through on this one. But the Juggernaut is fighting the evil X-Men. The emo dude is saying he should marry his scantily ironclad sister, and Peter Parker is dead. That's the opening to this book. Dr. Doom starts shooting people with his blast and make them not want to kill their children. As the emo guy starts beating up his dad's forehead as he's still sitting in his flipping chair.
Do you see me now, Daddy?
Yeah.
His forehead.
So Sierra or Roxanne, whatever, the red metal bikini girl, starts realizing that her dad might be capable of love after all, and decides to give up her immortality to bring Peter Parker back to life. And this is where we all find out what Peter looks like under a Spidey suit. He's apparently a very, very white Ken doll.
Oh, that's why Mary Jane left him.
Yep.
Oh.
And then through way too many panels flipping back and forth and giving up of immortality and be who you truly are, Peter Parker becomes the Spider-Naut.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank the Lord.
Coming
like
soon to a toy aisle near you.
Yeah.
You know that's coming. You know that's coming.
It. There's not much else to say about this story.
We got any friends in the letter pages? Mr. Comics, are you in there? Let's see. Yep, he is right there. Mr. Comics is there, right there. So we have some people in the comments, in the chat that's in the letter pages. Okay, Josh, that was epically quick. Let's see what your grade is, sir.
I'm with JR. It didn't personally offend me, but this is D minus, as close to F as you can get.
Okay, D minus. JR, did you get there? Did you get to the F?
No, it's a D minus.
D minus. Christina.
Yeah, I'll go with D. Be a little more generous.
D minus. Mike.
I'm actually giving this a C.
Okay. Sorry.
will explain.
Sorry, I just choked on Mike.
I will explain when
God.
I get there.
Okay.
When I get to
we will get to your insane prose and coming up.
It's
okay. Sarah, what's your grade?
I gave it an F. I was offended.
Come here, girl. Give me 5. Bam.
All right.
Yeah. F.
Okay.
F out of me. F.
Okay.
F. F. F you. F them. F them all. All right.
Wow.
All right, Josh. What the hell?
Yeah, no, fair. I mean, like, okay. So with the whole like Canadians not being able to see links thing, I couldn't figure out which story I was doing. So at first I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm doing the one JR is doing. And then I checked. I was like, oh, I wish I was doing the one JR was doing. That was better. This is so much worse.
At least you didn't do Mike's issue.
Yeah, yeah, fair. But yeah, like this, it's almost done, I guess. That's honestly my only pro is that it's a to be concluded instead of to be continued.
Why does this chick care he's dead? I mean, why does Roxanne care?
Well, see, Brad,
Why?
There's a thing called a character arc that has been happening throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, but I don't care about this character.
Well, no.
I care about the one that's dead and passed out on the ground, but I don't care about Roxanne. Why don't we reverse this?
Funny enough, Brad, this is actually one of my pros about this because he's actually showing, hey, she's actually going through an arc. And also it's funny because if you see people's reactions to this online, people are thinking, you know what? Why doesn't Spider-Man, get together with this person? Because she literally gave up his immortality to save him versus Shay, whatever her name is like, oh no, he says, no, we can't worry about Peter. We can't worry about Peter, Aunt May. We got to think of ourselves. So there's that.
Okay.
But I think so. So I do like that was one of my pros. I do like the Shay arc that it's kind of coming to fruition here. I do like Ed McGuinness's art on this. I think, that's great. I also do like the Dr. Doom scene between Doom and Strange, especially since, Strange calls out Doom over the fact that, hey, this is all your fault. You should have been doing this. And then of course, Doom is like, no, none shall question Doom and stuff. That's a classic kind of like banner between those things. I think that's great. Yeah. And it's like, okay, this issue, and I was thinking, okay, this issue's not bad until it, craps the bed with the whole spider knot thing at the end. So
it feels very much like a little kid story, but these are comics.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be meant for kids. Again, we're all over the age of what I guess these were intended to be. I guess I do have a pro. I have a pro. The opening shot of Juggernaut saying, "Snap the F out of it, X-Men." I almost want to say, "Get the F out of this book, X-Men," is what I want to say. Okay. Who had a C? It was Mike. Any other pros out of you?
That's pretty much it. I mean, I do appreciate. I mean, yeah. Granted, I do kind of like I said, the main reason for the pro is because the fact that you do get a little bit. It's also because of going into Cyrus arc, but it also ties into why kind of Spider-Man kind of matters in a sense, even though he's dead, but also that he is kind of shit that it's because the fact of his sacrifice shows kind of shows important of why he's a great hero and stuff. So But yeah, I mean, but again, yeah, it's just, it's not, like I said, it's not terrible compared to some of the other issues, but it's, it's not, it's what it is. It's just kind of, it is there. I mean, it's not like, I wasn't offended by it. I didn't think it was, but I didn't think it was that great either. So,
Josh, did you have any pros? It's your book. I forgot to go to you first.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. JR, you got any pros?
No.
Okay, Sarah had her hand up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like the art a lot.
Mhm.
That's it.
Ed McGuinness, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Ed McGuinness. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fine artist. He's just given an awful script.
Mhm.
I remember liking Ed McGuinness on the Red Hulk run, probably 15 years ago or something like that. Art's not the problem with the book. It's the writing and the characterization and these characters in here that I don't care about.
Mhm.
Yep.
And the one that I do care about, he's turned into an action figure like this. I mean,
Mhm.
it just doesn't.
You're right.
Christina, pro.
Even though, yeah, you just had the panel up, even though it's
I gotcha.
stupid. I did like that panel with him being Juggernaut. So,
Mhm.
Okay. Josh, cons.
Okay. So
JR, he's becoming us. Look at that big old sigh he did before he wound up to give cons. He's becoming one of us.
Okay. So I don't love that the Spider-Man book just starts off with the X-Men right off the bat. Like it's just Spider-Man's been dead. Like, we're covering 4 issues and he's dead for like 2 or 3 of these. Like it's just come on. I don't get what the heck this guy's whole motive is other than he's got daddy issues and so he just wants to beat his dad's head.
Who's the dude? Who's the dude with the hand and why
that's
does
the blight.
this?
yeah,
That's the blight, and
What's
that's
the blight? What? Why? What's
He
the
just
blight
wants to
doing?
consume the earth.
yeah,
So he's
Yeah.
Galactus.
Sure.
something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go. Well, let's go with that.
Sure.
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
What? Why?
And I'm not trying to be rude or just like move through this, but there's nothing here to go off of. Like honestly,
Mhm.
like I just have tons of cons of like, okay, these people are, nothing here makes sense. Dr. Doom is saving people from killing their kid for some reason. Yeah, okay. And then, she gives up her life or immortality to save this guy, but she has to like rip off part of her costume that she was wearing earlier to like do it or something. And now Spider, like I know the last panel is supposed to be like, oh yeah, Spider-Not, and it's supposed to emit this kind of like, yes, let's go. And I'm reading it just going, what the actual heck? Like this is stupid.
Your Spider-Knot voice sounds an awful lot like Wreck Rap.
Yeah, because they look like
hated that guy too.
Wreck Rap with a different head.
That does look like Wreck Rap, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Some people actually thought it was Wreck Rap at first when they saw that thing. I mean, I remember when they.
Yeah, I
when
thought
the-
Wreck
when the
Rap was
image
just
leaked.
wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
So the armor. So she gets naked and gives the suit to him. What happened?
She in JR's issue, she's wearing a different outfit. And
Yes.
then she's like, I need to discover immortality, and then needs to like show off her cleavage for no reason. Like
Yes.
to
because
discover
you know-
immortality, I must
because
look
because
more,
apparently you know that she's becoming a good guy when she shows more cleavage.
That's how it works in
Apparently.
comics.
I know. Yeah. I don't know why it does that.
So
but yeah.
like she is like losing her costume and it's going to Peter right here. Is this what's
Like, look,
happening?
scroll down a bit to the next panels, or no? Does it only show?
Yeah.
like-
No. It shows. It
Oh, it only
shows.
shows- No, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Earlier,
doesn't show what happens to her.
Yeah, so she like part of her costume, like this section on her chest, just like disappears compared to like JR's book where she was wearing more.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't show that. Like it doesn't show what happens to her. Like
Yeah,
this-
no.
these two panels, she
And
grabs
yet,
his hand.
like, what is this? She's just touching his hand, and she
And
like
then-
she has the power to dress him.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Great. So did my mom when I was a kid. Like,
She basically went to the menu and swapped like the video game, gave him a new costume is what she did.
yeah.
Like
I
what
gave
happened
him-
to her? I don't
Yeah. Okay.
I'm confused. And we talked about the art, and maybe it's because the artist didn't have a writer that was saying, okay, I'd like this to happen. It's not conveyed what happened. Why'd he become the Juggernaut?
No, he just starts running buck naked as she dresses him with her magical touch.
Yeah.
And then he's Juggernaut.
You've got the touch.
Because
Sorry.
because I think the idea is that Syra, because she is a scion of Cyttorak, was able to bestow her
Mike,
part
what the
of
hell did
her.
you just say?
I know, right?
Mike is into this, and I don't understand what the hell he just
get
said.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's bestowing, Roxanne is bestowing part of her, mojo onto Spider-Man to get because she's a daughter of Cyttorak, and therefore, and because Juggernaut gets its powers from Cyttorak, therefore.
What the hell language?
Yeah, I don't
what
get
is
it.
Stan Lee invented Spider-Man to be a down-to-earth hero. He's
Yeah.
he's the everyman hero. Y'all ever gone through? You ever fight a dude on the can and you had to whack him in the head, and then your costume changed, and some naked chick with cleavage came up and helped you out? I can't relate to any of this. Maybe this happens in Canada, but not in Missouri. This is never. This is not relatable at all. That's a Tuesday for Josh, but not me. If this happened to me, I'd be like, "Oh man, I knew that. I remember when I died 8 times and got better."
Well,
This is not relatable.
In this case, technically it wasn't 8 times; it was 5 times. So.
Well, 4.
It's just
awful. Okay, that's not in this issue, but it's still stupid. So it's the 8 deaths of Spider-Man. He dies 5 times, but he's got 4 more reads to save people. That's 9. The math isn't mathing.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But the other time he died, he didn't use the reed, right? So
he's died 6 times?
Yeah. No, because we all totally lost count of it.
I have a game that I want all of us to play, and okay, so in my interest of relatability and understanding down to earth heroes, if you were recommending this story to someone and you only had 2 sentences to explain what this story is about, what are the 2 sentences you would tell someone about this story? Anybody would like to volunteer?
Sorry, 2 sentences or 2 words?
2 You do your 2 words and then do your 2 sentences, Josh. Go ahead. Start with the F. Yeah. 2 sentences. Josh, you start off. What are 2 sentences to describe what this story is about?
I'm gonna need a second. Go back to me.
Okay. Anybody?
I can try it.
Mike, 2 sentences to sum up what this story is about to a new reader.
Dr. Doom gives Spider-Man magic powers to fight the children of Cyttorak. But Spider-Man dies during each fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christina, 2 sentences to describe what this story is about.
I can't do it. He got Mike had a good one. He got it.
JR, 2 sentences to describe what this story is about.
Evil red people fight Spider-Man. Evil red people kill Spider-Man.
Here you go.
Spot run. Yeah.
Nobody's got. Sarah, 2 sentences. What is this story about?
Nonsense.
That's 1 sentence. That's 1 word, actually.
No. Okay. So if I were to really try to explain that, I was actually I was doing this the other day, and it was quite a lengthy discussion trying to describe what was going on. But if I had to break it down, weird red people attack Earth. Spider-Man dies multiple times trying to save it, and no one knows why.
Okay. Did I get Josh's?
No.
Okay. I got one. You want me to go first?
I actually have to do this on a regular basis to my girlfriend and her family of hey, I'm doing a podcast tonight. We're talking about anal dogs and red people. And it's really hard just to sum up all of this in such a short amount, but
it is.
Big red constipated dude kills Spider-Man 8 times, but not 8.
Right.
Zeb Wells quits. Marvel pads until new writer.
Yeah.
That's mine.
The padded story is done by new writer.
But done by new writer and friends. And friends. Yes. Okay. 2 words. It stinks. 2 words. It makes no sense. Let's see. Do we have any other thoughts on this one before we wrap it up with the last issue? Okay, I'm going to go through the chat. If you haven't given a grade, let's see what your grades are. I'm up to a D and 2 Fs at the moment. I think I'm by far lower than JR. Which, man, somebody's going to have to personally insult JR so he can get to my level. The bar must be really low, really high for JR to give an F. Yeah, he's got to jump pretty high.
You want to see me try?
Yeah, you can still jump.
I did push-ups on the show once.
That's
She
true.
did.
With great power comes great riz. I don't know what they're referencing with that, but that's what if Stanley wrote it today. Let's see. It took a full second to read fully, understand this issue, which is why I can't give it higher than a C+. Ooh, Mr. Comics is out on it a little bit. He's usually higher than me. I love Spider-Man's upgrade to the Spider-Naut. Gave it a C+. I give it this an F. Tevye, I'm shocked. Mostly because I hate this story. It makes no sense. Why are we making Spider Juggernaut? It's so dumb, makes no sense. We're trying to sell action figures and DLCs, Tevye. That's why. Let's see. Who wrote this? Was it Ireland? No, this was Joe Kelly.
This was Joe Kelly. All way.
Josh pulls out a big scroll of cons. It's like 10 Commandments here. Let's see. The name Blight is a total ripoff from the Dragon Age games. If you see the reviews from last DA game, you see some type of level of writing. Sadly, this Blight thing seems Paul related. Just want to let that be known. Okay, I'm going to do controversial opinions. I'd rather see a story with Paul and Mary Jane than this. You know why? Because I can relate to a guy named Paul and Mary Jane more than the guy sitting on the can that's red. He needs to see a doctor.
So I guess it means you're reading all new Venom then.
I am.
Okay. Yeah.
Next month we'll have it out on that one.
Yes, we will.
We'll have it out on that one. Let's see. Here's my answer. Has Spider-Man sucked since 2008? One more day. Enough said. There is a very vocal group of people that would agree with you on that, Matt. Marvel often downplays it, but I remember George has said many times when he was reviewing, he says Marvel expected the One More Day stuff to, the outcrying of ticked offness, if that's a word, to die down, in a couple of years. How many years are we going on this thing? Nearly 20 years. And people are still saying One More Day altered Spider-Man and not to the better. So let's see. Yes, the leaks are out, but we're not talking about it. We're going to talk about it when it's officially out on that Wednesday. I have been spoiled of this. So thank you, retailers that put out that variant cover. Let's see. Okay, we have done that issue. Are we ready to wrap up volume 6?
Yep.
Volume 6 of Amazing Spider-Man is what we're going to tackle, and Christina is going to wrap this volume up for us with a brand new action figure on the cover called the Spider-Naut.
Yep.
I think it's appropriate because that is not my Spider-Man. This has not been my Spider-Man. Okay.
We
Take
start
it through
with
Christine. Double page ad spread,
Yep.
right?
Yep, that's what we start with. I'm going to try to make this quick too, because not much happens in this issue either.
Real quick before you start, I put a challenge out to chat. If you could add up of the last several pages of the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, how many extra pages have been spent on this double page spread when we could have more story? I'm curious. Chat, if you can figure that out, I will publicly give you a thumbs up.
Wow.
Those are valuable. Fonzie had them back in the 70s. That's a sitcom called Happy Days. Sorry.
Yes,
John.
we get the reference, Brad. You just
Yeah.
made this. You go.
All right.
Basically, we got Spider-Man fighting Calyx, and because he's never had this power before, he's realizing it's intoxicating, and nothing can stop the Spider-Knot. And then we see Doom talking to Astroform Doctor Strange, asking him, basically, what has Spider-Man done? And so, and then he ends up talking to Juggernaut about all this power that he's feeling and understands what he feels now and stuff. So then he's going to give Spider-Man the X-Men fastball special to use against Calyx and stuff in this panel. He's like, Calyx! So Spider-Man used...
One more time, Christina. Can I hear it?
Okay. Calyx!
Isn't that, I haven't had hair in years. Isn't that what happens when you have a piece of hair up? Like it's a cowlick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Okay, go ahead.
So Spider-Man realizes he has to stop the blight, so he goes ahead and activates a spell to take him up to the blight, basically. And I'm not even going to try to say it. Terrible truck bucket.
Terrible truck bucket. What are you talking about? Oh yeah. Here we go.
This spell.
Well,
terrible truck bucket of Trogoth.
Yeah, that's it.
Terrible truck bucket.
Trebuchet, I think.
Terrible trebuchet of Tagoth.
Yeah, something like that. Or
whatever.
That's conversational. I like that.
Well, Spider-Man's realizing he's not going to miss magic at all, and Strange is asking Doom, is that why you chose Spider-Man stuff? And then we get back to the Crimson Cosmos where we see Roxanne with less of her clothes on, talking to her father about...
Talking to his crotch, evidently. What in the heck? What in the world? What in the world? Look, even his face is embarrassed. I mean, come on.
It's like, ugh.
Jesus.
Yeah, basically she's telling him that he's in all this pain because of loss of most of his children. And he's like, nothing can hurt Citarac. He's yelling at her and stuff. So she's like, yeah, pain's inevitable. And so Spider-Man we're back to Spider-Man at the Blight. He gets rid of his Juggernaut suit, goes back to his regular suit. He's going to cast this spell, but Citarac comes in and decides to get off his ass, and so we he
even has the word "sit" in his damn name.
Yeah, Citarac.
Sit on his ass, Garak.
First, we get this panel
as Standerac.
Standerac, yeah.
Right after this, we get the panel of all the faces in Peter's life, saying that today is
heads of guilt.
Yeah.
Can we name them all, Christina? Let's hear it. Who we got? I'll start over here.
Gwen. I believe, is that Harry or Norman?
That's Norman.
Probably Norman, if I had to guess. JR, Norman, Harry, which one?
I think it's Norman.
Okay, who we got here?
Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Aunt May. Miles.
Yep.
Mary Jane. For whatever reason, Venom.
And
below him is Shay.
Is that all new Venom also? Okay, got it.
One of the Venoms, at least. Okay. Yeah,
Who's
Shay.
this?
I believe that's Shay. Chasm.
Yeah.
Jonah, Felicia, for whatever reason, Doc Ock, Miles with his mask on, and Green Goblin with his mask on.
That's Randy at the top then.
Oh yeah, maybe. Okay, that is Randy.
Maybe,
it looks more okay.
Although yeah, he looks kind of young, so that's weird.
That's why I thought it was Miles.
Okay. All right, that's the floating heads of guilt together.
And so
we form the spider.
So we see a couple pages later this stuff with Vishanti again. Citarac decides that he's gonna hold back the blight from destroying the earth. So
get the hell out of here! And he was like, "It's my book."
So he's gonna do that himself now. And Spider-Man goes back to Strange. It's like, yeah, he's done. He's like, yeah, I never want to deal with magic again, not even at a kid's birthday party or anything. And so right after that, we cut to the funeral of Kenny, who died all the way back at the beginning of these issues and stuff. And for whatever reason, Bailey Briggs is
Who is Kenny? I read this and I don't remember Kenny. Who killed Kenny? It's a South Park reference, right?
Kenny was the window washer that Spider-Man saved in the very first issue of 8 Deaths, and then he died off panel, which made Peter think, oh well, what was the point of saving this guy? But then
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
Mike,
so it was kind of a running thing that they were trying to do, that Joe Kelly was trying to do with this. So, but yeah.
Then we see him bringing roses to May, basically saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Hope you'll forgive me." Then he's with Felicia again, and she tells him, "Yeah, don't be emo again." And then we cut with Roxanne, with her brother Calix, who's in a jail, and then we cut to Peter being at Randy's picture show with all the Spider-Man photos that have been taken and stuff. And of course, he has to see if Shay can forgive him. So, yeah, that's how that ends. He's like, "Yeah, my life mattered." The end. And then there's a short story in the back of him.
Here, real quick, let me go back to this panel here. Who is Mary Jane talking to? Is this Bailey? And who is
no. That's actually Dylan. That's supposed to be Dylan Brock.
Dylan, yeah.
Who's this guy?
That's Miles.
Yeah.
Miles is a lot bigger than that. Isn't he?
Could be. Dylan's like what, 12? Like, this makes Miles look like he's 13. He's supposed to be what?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And did you notice on the panel right here that Peter and Randy's faces are completely black?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. What's that about?
And what's with his hand? Why is his hand striped?
Check out the cut and paste art and the man bun.
Yep.
The man bun.
The Paul man bun. Yep.
And then we just got a short story in the back of Spider-Man basically stopping some bank robbers, and the bank wants to give Spider-Man a 6-figure sum of money, but he has to give them like a social security number, ID, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "Yeah, I hate money so much, I need a job." The end.
Okay. See you in 2 weeks. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 7. Is that right?
Oh.
I think so, yeah.
Hey, look at this. Spider-Man Games. He's got a joystick right here. Controller. Look at that. Okay, Christina, you're great on this one.
I'm going to... D! Put me out of my misery. D.
D for death. Mike, great.
Yes.
This is also a D for dull and disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah?
D as well.
Josh?
D minus.
JR.
Wow.
D.
I'll give this one a D. I liked it better. Mainly because of that backup story. That felt like Spider-Man. I hope this is what Joe Kelly's going to bring instead of 8 issues stretched to 12, padded out with some red people. With sit on my rack. God. You know, he needs money. He should be getting money because $5 an issue. Spider-Man should be getting a cut, Tevye. Chat, what is your grades? Pop them up and I'll put them up before we wrap this episode up. Christina, let me hear your pros.
Not much. It's over with finally. I did like that Juggernaut did give him the fastball special that Wolverine and Colossus are known for. I did like that. Worth fighting for a panel. We see everybody's faces on it and stuff. And the art, I like the art. So,
yeah. Other pros? Anybody else? JR, haven't heard out from you. What'd you like about this one?
Nothing.
Okay. Josh?
Yeah,
any moments? You what?
I agree with the old man. Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, don't insult Brad like that.
Sarah, pros?
What Christina mentioned, I like the fastball special. I thought that was cool.
The art is a pro. Art is attractive.
Except when they're at that art gallery thing with the cut and paste, things in the bag. That's
I really like
I don't know.
Yeah, that was fun.
The hiding in the it's almost like he forgot to draw Spider-Man Peter Parker back there.
I'm kind of almost thinking was this a different artist? But then there's no other artist credited.
I mean, also look at the light source. Like the room is lit up. Like everyone's got light hitting their faces except these two. It's almost like they're mysterious characters that are slinking in the shadows, but it's our main it's our main guy. It's almost like the X-Men are standing in front of him again.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear Christina's cons.
Oh my goodness. It was the whole storyline was absolutely pointless. It didn't do anything for Peter Parker at all. He's still in the same position where he's in at the end of this story, broke and where we've been saying regressing and stuff. And then why is Shay still here? Why is she tolerating his bullshit?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, that's a big one for me too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. She doesn't even know he brought her back to life. Like,
right.
Does she even tell Peter, I think I died.
No.
I died in your arms tonight.
But here's the thing. The thing is, like, I mean, granted, when Shay is tolerable, but she's got some need. But she is needy. I mean, remember a few issues ago, she decided to break up with Peter because of his nihilistic emo phase, and now she comes crawling back to him because, oh well. Okay, we'll make this work again. And again, this is the same Shay where basically she knows he's been lying to her about something this whole time, but nope, well, I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna, but and the other thing too is like when I saw those floating heads of guilt, and then that page of the art where everybody's like where all of his family and friends and Paul we're at the art gallery. It just reminded me, just like, wow, for all the stuff that the Spider-Man office has been trying to say about how it's the importance of the supporting cast, they really gutted them, because there was like, remember they used to have a guy going on Spider-Man used to have one of like the richest Spider supporting casts in all of comics, and now
Flash,
you're looking
Betty,
they're
Ned,
all gone. They're either
dead.
They're either dead. In another comic, or turned into superheroes at this point.
Yes.
So it's just like, yeah, and it's just like everything, like it's been. I mean, you can pretty much count like who the regulars are that he's going to have like on, like there's less than you know. I mean, and Aunt May and Jonah, he barely interacts with him anymore, and at this point, and it's just like yeah. So it's like you can pretty much count what he's got left, his regulars, on less than on like one hand.
I mean, he gave Aunt May, and who else died? Reed.
Yeah.
Every time they say Reed, I think, because I used to play saxophone in high school, I like reeds for an instrument is what Sarah can relate to that. I think of those kind of reeds, but I don't know. I agree. The supporting cast is gutted or turned into superheroes, aka Mary Jane. You've got Flash Thompson. Or villains. You've got Ned Lee's resurrected.
Well, Liz Allen's not there because she's over.
Liz Allen's a superhero. She's Menace. No, who is she?
Misery.
Yeah, Misery's at Dane. You also got the fact that Harry's dead. You also got the other things too. It's like, and then, I mean, granted, like, not you're gonna really miss Carly Cooper, but she's not in the picture at all. But I guess Shay's kind of there now. Who's kind of like she's the next one. But yeah, like, and of course he can't there's Robbie isn't there. He can't interact with any of the Daily Bugle staff. Jonah barely doesn't,
Jonah still knows too that
Jonah still knows, but there's none of that interplay. It has been there for a long time between these two.
Christina, a con for me is I didn't really understand this part. I thought like he was cursed for 100 years or something like this to keep fighting it. I had to reread it and figure out what the heck he meant. So he was willing to sacrifice himself for 100 years, and then that got the guy off his Sirac ass and beat the other. So why didn't this guy beat him in the first place?
That's a good question, because that would have not made us have this story if he did that.
Can I try to explain it? a little
Okay,
bit.
why did
'cause I
this
think-
guy finally get off his ass to beat this little
Okay,
looks like a flea?
because the book of Vishanti prophesized it, and that's what
Well,
apparently
that's
that
the
thing.
stupidest thing in the world.
It is the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is because apparently what we're supposed to take from this is, and this is what Doctor Strange figured out, is that Doctor Doom, because he read the book of Ashanti, somehow knew that this was all going to happen. So that's why he chose Spider-Man to be the champion, so that because of Spider-Man's nobleness and sacrifice, not only would Spider-Man be able to kind of endure, it would also convince Cyttorak to get off this giant stone toilet seat and hold back the blight for once and for all. So basically, yeah.
Why didn't Doctor Strange pull a Spider-Man move like that? Is Doctor Strange not a hero that he will stop this
Because
for
the book
100
of
years?
Cyttorak didn't say that was going to happen. That's what I know. It's dumb.
It makes no sense.
Right.
This is a Doctor Strange story that is.
It is. But they wanted to put
And I
Spider-Man.
like Doctor Strange stories, but not in my Spider-Man. This is. The Book of Cyttorak feels like the Book of Joe Kelly is what it feels like.
Well, the book of Ashanti.
I mean, it's
not the book
because
of-
Joe Kelly said this happened, or
It's not the book of Ashanti. It's the book of Ashanti. It's a thing that's been around in Doctor Strange.
Oh,
thing.
I
But
know.
yeah, but they
I know.
totally
It's-
made up this
it's
whole
a cheap
thing
writing
about,
trick to say.
Yeah,
the
of
book
course
said
it
this.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other cons.
Well, that was also kind of one of my thing too. Is like the idea that this is, and also because it's just a resolution. It's like, oh yeah, Peter goes back to Shay, and then what does Syra get? Oh yeah, she gets to watch her brother imprisoned in Cyttorak's giant stone toilet seat for all
What
of
an
eternity.
awkward framed shot too.
Mhm.
Just awkwardly, like it looks like she's naked in this shot too, but she eventually gets some clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like she's wearing nothing but gloves, staring at her dad's crotch.
Just awkward. Awkward. And he looks so like he's constipated. I mean,
Right.
Literally taking
like
a dump.
he's
That's why he
trying
didn't
to
move.
he's trying to flush. He's trying to digest a one-page story into 12. He's backed up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're all just exhausted, aren't we, from this? I'm exhausted. Like, after you read a long story, you're usually like, oh man, that was worth the journey. The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings. You know what? That was a good story, man. It was long, but man, it's the friends we made along the way. What the hell did we get along the way of this thing?
Well, that's the other thing too, is like, are we getting, after reading this, it's like, it doesn't really give me a whole lot of confidence for Joe Kelly's start on the next volume. Because I mean, granted, I think now, to be fair, he was probably phoning this in, basically until like he could get to that point, because
he took on a job that requires twice a month to produce 40 pages a month, right?
Right.
So he needed a head start, and he probably was like, oh, you know what? What if we had Spider-Man die a bunch? And then he was like, okay, let's get some other writers to fill in the blanks. It wasn't a great concept, but it sounds like they didn't have much time to get something.
Well, no, I mean, and I think that's the thing too. I think the thing is, because I think when, because initially, I think if you remember, I think of thinking the name is that Zeb Wells' run was supposed to have ended earlier than it did. And then he got some extended thing. And I think part of it was too, is because I know Joe Kelly has other commitments. So besides the comic things, because he is Man of Action as well. So I kind of get the sense that maybe the reason why this feels bad is because it almost feels like maybe they were trying to, Nick Lowe was trying to kind of convince, hey, Joe Kelly, can you please write this book? Nobody else wants to write it. So we need somebody.
Chip Zdarsky said he wouldn't write it because it takes so much you have to produce so much content.
Yeah.
And that's a catch-22, isn't it? You have to produce so much content for the number for one of the best sellers of Spider-Man, but you aren't attracting the bigger talent that wants to take on a lot of
right, because
content having to be written.
there's so much editorial, edicts that has been that's been put on this title, and so I think that's part of the reason why there's kind of a reluctance of people wanting to other writing talent to want to go on the Amazing Spider-Man, because they know that they kind of have to be at the whim of whatever editorial tells them to do, and they can't really cut and break loose. In some cases, like if you get I doubt you could say now the weird thing is, if Spider-Man wasn't doing as well, like it was considered maybe like it was a B title, then maybe you could have a little bit of a more experimentation and everything like that. But at this point, it's just like, nope, you have that there is I almost kind of get the feeling that there is some kind of editorial, there are editorial things they from on high that say, no, you have to, we cannot do certain things with Spider-Man because well, one, we don't really fully own him because Sony still owns him, and therefore, but also because there are certain things that we have to follow. Maybe it's because they're still going by that manifesto that Brevoort wrote way back in the start of Brand New Day. I don't know, but
that's a nice segue. We're going to talk about in Spider News coming up. I think it's time to wrap this one up, and let's do final thoughts. We will lead with Christina. What's your final thoughts on this story, on this everything?
This story arc was a waste of time. Like,
Absolutely.
Nothing happened. And then we have Joe Kelly's new run on Amazing Spider-Man to start too, and I'm not really jumping for joy to read it, but I'm still gonna give it a shot. So
I mean, I'm been here for 40 years. I'll keep reading it, but man, it's rough. And JR's wanting to pull the IV off of him, and I think he's going to flatline for Spider-Man if he does that. Don't take the old man off the respirator of Spider-Man.
38 issues to go.
Oh, man.
That's how long I'm hanging in.
Mike, what's your final thoughts, sir?
Well, let's see. I enjoy being on the panel, even though if this was definitely a chore to read. Man, it's just like, I just kind of think the thing is like, you really kind of like wish that this thing could have been, actually maybe shortened. Or better come up with something else besides this.
I mean, how many years ago was it? 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago with Spider-Man Beyond? That was a better story, and that was
and that's what I was thinking, because it's like, at least with Spider-Man Beyond, at least there seemed to be some kind of a purpose and direction. Granted, you didn't like what direction it was necessarily going towards, but at least it had something. This feels like, okay, yeah, well, I'll just throw some stuff into the idea machine and see what comes out.
Sarah, final thoughts?
Glad it's over.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a journey I don't wish we would have taken. I don't think we need to take. Josh, final thoughts?
My final thoughts are going to answer JP Third, who said, I just got here. Brother, you didn't miss much.
JP, we're coming up in just a little bit. We got another show after this one. Stay tuned on the channel. JR, final thoughts?
Doesn't leave me much hope for the future. Not at all.
Yeah. Gary has a question for you. If the book is back on track to being a great read by 1,000, will you stay?
There's a lot of other things going on, Gary. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if the fans demand it, JR will stay to be tortured. I forgot to get the chat for this issue. Let me get it before I tease what's coming up next on the channel. Spider-Knot is so dumb. Spider-Knot Build-A-Figure coming soon. I agree with that. Coming soon. Let's see. Where did the chat give the grades for this one? I thought they did. Let's see. Walter says, do I really want more of this story? Yeah, I don't really want. Walter gave it a D. Minus, I like the art. I don't like that you don't have insight into what Peter is feeling. You had Doom and Strange say it. That is dumb. Why is Chasm here? Let's see. We've got. I like how he became the Atlas of the Marvel Universe.
That okay? Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
In other
He's
words, Atlas
carrying
holding the world above his
Oh,
shoulder.
yeah,
Yeah.
holding the world up there.
Yeah.
From a storytelling perspective, it has no impact if other characters explain the main character's actions. I missed the thought balloons. Another dumb Joe.
Name Joe Q get yeah.
Let's see. Why is Paul here? Again, I'd rather have Paul than the guy on the crapper. Sit on your act. Is Kid Brock 50? What is that face?
Yeah. It's not a very good look.
Grade is a B plus, sneak peek A minus. I didn't mind the backup story. Much better than the last 12 issues or whatever it was. I'm with you, Mr. Comics. The backup did give me a little bit of hope. It was a grounded Spider-Man story with a truck with money coming out of it. So
See, okay, it's a catch 22. Is that the saying?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a catch 22 because I can relate to that. Like, man, I need money, but I'm 22. Peter's supposedly what, 29, 30? Like, he should kind of have his life together now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. T-Man gave it a C. F minus, if that's even possible, says Matt Bird. The overall grade for the story is a D minus. When the person comes up with a story idea, doesn't have faith and willing or to write it himself, tells a lot about how good the story is going to be. Brad's so happy it's over. He's crying. Had to wipe away those tears. No, allergies is what that do. Yeah, actually, I am kind of happy it's over. Oh, thank God. Why does Joe Kelly want Shay a thing? Probably because he wants a love interest and Mary Jane's off the table.
Well,
probably right.
He's also, because the fact is, well, given what he's also done here, is probably also maybe wants to do things with Black Cat because Joe Kelly's got
Black Cat.
Yeah, because he's got to think so. And also, if you read the letters page, I think in one of these things, I think Nick Lowe said, "Well, Peter and Shay aren't exclusive." Look at what
Mr. Comics says. Volume 4 was still worse. Excited for Volume 7. Is Volume 4 the one where Slott puts Peter Parker Industries?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Which one was?
Man, that's a hard one to answer, Mr. Comics.
Spencer was Volume 5.
Spencer was 5. I think 5 might have been the only good one since 2.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Parker Industries is more grounded than this. Mm-hmm. Zeb Wells had a lot of cosmic stuff going on with Paul and the Mary Jane, altered Mary Jane. I mean, we talk about how Peter is spinning his wheel. They altered Mary Jane a lot in this volume. A lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
made her a hero with Jackpot. Wink. We're not talking until next month. But altered her a lot. So
you know what? Marvel did do something we often say they don't do, whereas like at the end of each volume, everything gets set back to the status quo and no one actually progresses. There's a lot of stuff here that like wasn't here before. That's just continuing to the next volume. The problem it all sucks.
Oh yeah.
I hope what he does is what Spencer did is try to put the toys back in the toy box a little bit to where we recognize them. But I have very, very little faith of after what we just read. I did like his Deadpool Spider-Man stuff though. So who knows? All right. Coming up next on the Crawlspace, we've got let's see, Spider News coming up. We've got Sadie Sink is allegedly cast in Spider-Man 4. Who is she going to play? Find out who we think. Could it be Mary Jane? Could it be Black Cat? Some people are saying Mayday Parker. Some people are saying Jean Grey. I think she could be a Mary Jane. I think she got the look for a Mary Jane, but I don't think they're going to do that. They already have an MJ in this universe. So we'll discuss that in Spider News. JR has some insane stories, as usual, that I've picked from the internet, going back to the late 70s for Spider News. So you don't want to miss that. That is coming up on the channel. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we will be back in a few minutes with some new cast members are going to join us. So that'll be fun. So stay tuned. We will be right back with Spider News. Thanks for watching, everybody.